Hello, folks. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. Hope you're having a great day. In yesterday's video, we talked about the house, we talked about the warning, and we talked about the return of the king. I actually changed the part of the title that was at the end. Instead of coming again, I wrote Return of the King. The reason that I did that is because a lot of people were listening to the house, but they were not listening to the rest of the video. They were not listening to the warning, and they were not listening to the Return of the King. And those parts of the information are very important as we move forward and as we continue in what is going on today. A couple of things that are going on is that there is a final warning. There is a final opportunity for people to get prepared. We have spoken about where do people go that refuse to accept the Lord. And those that refuse to do the things that God is impressing on their lives. Now, some people have suggested that they just go straight to hell. Other people have suggested other things, and we talked a little bit about that on an earlier video. Well, today we're going to talk about the idea of what is going to happen and when we believe it's going to happen. As we have said a few different times, the 1,000-year treaties have all been signed, sealed, and delivered. They are ready to go, and that was part of what President Trump was supposed to do. Now, some people have suggested that he's the king, but we did explain in yesterday's video how that he has, on different occasions, made statements that let people know that no, he's not the king. The fact of the matter is, and at many different times, he has said that he didn't even want to be president, but would only become president if he was needed. Well, he is needed. Right now, much of the world's population would be destroyed if it wasn't for him. The military, this is the alliance, and this is according to what has been stated by many different people in the know, said that they could still get the job done if he wasn't president, but a lot more people would lose their lives. People don't realize that this is, in fact, war. There is war in the heavenlies. There is war in the tunnels. And in 3 states over the last several days, some of these tunnel battles have been taking place, and many of these tunnels are being destroyed. There is no longer the capability of passage through those tunnels, either by foot or in any kind of a vehicle. Now, there were tunnels that you could go from, say, Washington, D.C. to the west side of the country in a matter of less than an hour. Some of those may continue to be used by the alliance. However, the dark side is no longer going to have the capability or the use of those tunnels because they are no longer going to have access. And some of those that were being used for many of the crimes against humanity, that would include cloning, that would include sex trafficking, drug trafficking, and most likely even gun running to a certain extent. But many of those kinds of things, those tunnels will no longer be available to them, and many of them, if they don't have a use to the alliance, are being destroyed. So we are preparing for the king. And we need to understand that the people who are in place for the express purpose of preparing for the king. We also need to realize that time is growing very short. The 209 treaties that are going to be a part of the 1,000 years of peace, the reign of Christ, are signed, sealed, and delivered. The wars that we're seeing right now are not between nations. Those wars are between the forces of Satan and the forces of the Lord. And these wars are very important because they are a part of the end time prophecy. The end times speaks in some people's mind as the end of the world, but what it means is the end of the age. The new age is going to be the age of the return of the king, and the king then will reign supreme. We need to remember to pray, because our good prayers are going to allow us to have good days. As I mentioned yesterday, that is why this channel is called Good Day, Good Prayers. It's because of those good prayers that the good days come, even in a time of hardship. But we need to be prepared. We need to realize that Jesus is going to return soon, and his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Because as we said yesterday, heaven and earth will come together. And when it comes together, it will be time for him to reign here on earth. And he will be here with his people, those who are raised from the dead, and those of us who are already here. We discussed in another video that he's going to call us. We're going to come off of the surface of the earth, and heaven and earth then will come together, and then we will come back to the place that we are to be put during that time, which will most likely be the place that you are already living, although there will be some that are going to be able to move to other places. What a blessing, huh? Well, this is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. Remember to give us a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe to our channel. And please remember to share our videos and our information with other people. The time is short. We need to be praying for our loved ones. We need to be praying for our friends, for our associates, our colleagues, all of those people. But most of all, by having some good prayers, we need to have a good day. Good day.